You just bought something. Maybe it was a coat, maybe it was a new phone, maybe it was a candle you did not need, or a set of pens you will never use. The package arrived, you opened it, you held the object in your hands, and then something strange happened. The excitement you expected did not come. Instead, there was a quiet letdown, a small hollowness. You looked at the thing you had wanted, and it looked back at you like a stranger. So you put it on the shelf, or you stuffed it in a drawer, or you left it by the door to return later. And you thought, why do I do this? Why do I chase the feeling of buying only to land in the emptiness of having? You tell yourself you should be happy, you got the thing, but you are not happy, you are just tired. This looks like consumerism, it looks like impulse control, but if you look closer, it is something else entirely. Something the shopping industry has spent billions making sure you never fully understand. Let me say this gently. You are not broken. You are not ungrateful. You are not addicted to spending. What you are, you just bought something. Maybe it was a coat, maybe it was a new phone, maybe it was a candle you did not need, or a set of pens you will never use. The package arrived, you opened it, you held the object in your hands, and then something strange happened. The excitement you expected did not come. Instead, there was a quiet letdown, a small hollowness. You looked at the thing you had wanted, and it looked back at you like a stranger. So you put it on the shelf, or you stuffed it in a drawer, or you left it by the door to return later. And you thought, why do I do this? Why do I chase the feeling of buying only to land in the emptiness of having? You tell yourself you should be happy, you got the thing, but you are not happy. You are just tired. This looks like consumerism. It looks like impulse control. But if you look closer, it is something else entirely. Something the shopping industry has spent billions making sure you never fully understand. Let me say this gently. You are not broken. You are not ungrateful. You are not addicted to spending. What you are is someone who has discovered a painful truth that most people spend their whole lives avoiding. The truth is this. The wanting feels better than the having, and the emptiness you feel after shopping is not a sign that you bought the wrong thing. It is a sign that you were trying to solve a feeling with an object, and objects, no matter how beautiful or expensive or long-awaited, cannot solve feelings. They can only distract from them for a while. That is not your fault. That is how the brain works, and once you see it, the emptiness stops being a mystery and starts being a message. Here's where this shows up most clearly. You've had a hard week. Stress at work, tension at home, nothing you can point to, just a low hum of unease. So on Friday night, you open your laptop, you browse, you add things to your cart, you remove them, you add them again. Finally, you buy something, not because you need it, because you need the feeling of the purchase, the click, the confirmation email, the tracking number. For a few hours, you feel lighter. The unease fades. Then the package arrives. You open it. The lightness is gone, the unease is back. And now you also have a thing you do not really want. You close the box, you feel empty. Not sad exactly, just flat. You wonder what is wrong with you. The behavioral concept here is something called the hedonic treadmill combined with anticipation reality gap. The hedonic treadmill means that no matter what you get, you eventually return to your baseline level of happiness. The anticipation reality gap means that your brain releases more dopamine while you are anticipating a reward than when you actually receive it. So the best part of shopping is not the owning, it is the wanting, the hours of browsing, the imagining, the dreaming about how your life will be different with this thing. That dreaming feels real. It feels like progress. Then the thing arrives, and reality cannot compete with imagination. Reality is just an object. Imagination was a whole story. The emptiness you feel is not disappointment in the thing. It's grief for the story that just ended. You learned this pattern slowly. Maybe you grew up with not enough, so you learned to associate shopping with relief. Maybe you grew up with plenty, so you learned to associate shopping with boredom. Either way, you discovered that the moment after buying is the quietest moment. The noise in your head stops. The anxiety pauses. The sadness steps back. That pause is powerful. It is also short, so you buy again to get the pause again. The emptiness after shopping is the space between the pause ending and the next pause beginning, and that space feels unbearable. Not because you are weak, because you've been using shopping as a volume knob, and no volume knob can fix a broken speaker. But here's the part most people miss. The emptiness after shopping is not created by the shopping. It was already there. The shopping just covered it up for a while, like a rug over a hole in the floor. You walk across the rug, it feels fine. Then you move the rug, and there's the hole. You did not make the hole by moving the rug. The hole was always there. The shopping did not create the emptiness. It just reminded you that the emptiness exists, and that reminder feels terrible. So you blame the purchase. You think, if only I had bought the better coat, the nicer phone, the more expensive candle. But the problem was never the coat. The problem was the hole. The brain does something unexpected here. It tries to solve the emptiness by buying more, not because it's stupid, because it remembers that the anticipation felt good, and the brain cannot tell the difference between anticipation that leads to satisfaction and anticipation that leads to emptiness. It just knows that anticipation released dopamine, so it chases the anticipation again and again. Each time the emptiness comes back a little faster. Each time the purchase feels a little flatter. This is not a moral failure. This is a neurological loop, and loops are not broken by shame. They are broken by noticing. Just noticing that the emptiness was there before the shopping, that the shopping was an attempt, not a solution. And the attempt failed, not because you were bad at shopping, because shopping was never designed to succeed at this particular job. Your relationship with this pattern will change over time. In your 20s, the emptiness after shopping feels confusing. You don't have words for it. You just feel weird after buying things. In your 30s, you start to notice the pattern. You buy less impulsively, but the emptiness still comes, sometimes from a big purchase, sometimes from a small one. In your 40s, you might shop less overall, not because you have discipline, but because you have learned that the emptiness is not worth the cost. The same behavior that once felt like a mystery now feels like a memory. You still feel empty sometimes, you just don't reach for your wallet as quickly. The emptiness doesn't disappear, it just stops being a surprise. This behavior is an emotional regulation strategy. It reduces your stress in the very short term by flooding your brain with anticipation dopamine. That dopamine acts like a buffer between you and the difficult feelings you've been carrying. Anxiety, loneliness, boredom, inadequacy. The shopping creates a temporary shield. For a few hours, you don't have to feel those things. You can just browse, just imagine, just click. The shield is real, the relief is real. But shields are heavy, and when you put the shield down, the feelings are still there. The emptiness is the moment you lower the shield and realize you haven't moved anywhere. You're still standing in the same place, just with more packages. Think of this behavior as an autopilot. You feel a certain kind of discomfort, your hand reaches for your phone, your thumb opens the shopping app. You don't decide to do this, it just happens. The autopilot was programmed a long time ago, probably when you first discovered that buying something could change how you felt. And for a while, it worked. The autopilot is not evil. It was trying to help. It was trying to protect you from feelings that felt too big to hold. But autopilots don't know when to stop. They just keep flying the same route, even when the destination is always the same emptiness. So, here's where we land. Not with a shopping ban, not with a budget, not with a 30-day rule or a cold turkey challenge, just with this. You are not empty because you shop too much. You shop because you feel empty. And that emptiness is not a crime. It is not a disorder that makes you broken beyond repair. It is simply a feeling, one of many, and feelings, even the hollow ones, do not need to be fixed. They need to be felt. You have been trying not to feel the emptiness by filling it with things, but things cannot fill what is not a container. Emptiness is not a container. It is a signal, and the signal is not telling you to buy more. It is telling you to stop running. That's all. Just stop. Sit with the emptiness for a second. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to shop it away. Just sit. The emptiness will not kill you. It's just uncomfortable.